Hello, everyone, and welcome to a breastfeeding class presented by the Breastfeeding Clinic in the Helderberg Base in Cape Town, South Africa. Just a quick disclaimer. The information that is provided in this program is to assist you in exploring all available options to help empower you to make well-informed decisions, to help you feel in control, be responsible for, and have confidence in your choices. The information should please not be substituted for the diagnosis and treatment of any medical condition. And also, please never disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking it because of something that you have received in this program. This recording is also not intended to replace professional or medical or other kinds of advice. So in the previous recording, we have already learned about the importance of skin-to-skin contact after birth and the first feed. In this recording, we will be looking at other things that can help breastfeeding during the early days while a mother is still in the birthing unit, and perhaps also as well um, during the early days at home. I have highlighted it for you on the list of topics we are covering in this breastfeeding class series. Okay, so let's look at a few things that can help breastfeeding in the early days. Well, first and foremost, need to mention it again, is skin-to-skin contact. So in a previous recording called Impact of Birth Practices, we saw all the amazing results of being in skin-to-skin contact with a baby after birth. So please watch that recording. Now, another thing that can help in the early days and weeks to help breastfeeding is rooming in with your baby day and night. So the baby and the mother in this slide is rooming in or are rooming in. So rooming in means the baby stays in the same room as their mother day and night from immediately after birth. Now, step 7 of the WHO 10 Steps to Successful Breastfeeding says enable mothers and their babies to remain together and to practice rooming in 24 hours a day. So hopefully the hospital you choose to have your baby will already be keeping mothers and babies together day and night. And Lactation also says mothers and babies need to be together early and often to establish a satisfying breastfeeding relationship and a reliable milk production. So let's look at some of the advantages, or should we say the importance, of rooming in during a hospital stay. So if a mother and baby is together, it enables the mother to recognize her baby's cues and to respond to them faster, which is difficult when a mother and baby are separated, such as when the baby is in the nursery. Research also shows that rooming in promotes a mother's confidence about breastfeeding and caring for her baby. Babies also sleep better and they cry less when they are with their mothers. Babies who room in with their mothers breastfeed more often and as a result gain weight more quickly in the first week. Rooming in also helps with both the establishment of breastfeeding and bonding. And a mother's post discharge workload is much lower when she rooms in with her baby during the hospital stay because she learns basic skills like nappy changing and baby settling much faster. Also, research show when mothers and babies room in that breastfeeding continues for much longer. Another thing that you can do in the early days and weeks to help breastfeeding is practicing responsive feeding. So step 8 of the WHO 10 Steps to Successful Breastfeeding says, support mothers to recognize and respond to their infants' feeding cues. So baby-led feeding, also called demand feeding or cue feeding or responsive feeding, means breastfeeding whenever the baby or mother wants, with no restriction on the length or frequency of feeds. Now, you need to learn to recognize your baby's signs of hunger and readiness to feed, which are also called the feeding cues, and then respond to these feeding cues as soon and as often as the baby shows them or starts giving them. And then let the baby suckle for as long as they want each time. So, what are these feeding cues? Do you have any idea? Right, so the baby will show signs that they need to feed by waking up. Yes, this is the first sign. Parents often think that they need to wait for their newborn to cry or root, but a newborn waking up is the first sign to offer the breast. So then baby may root or search or open their mouth or turn their head trying to find the breast. They might make little noises. They might make hand to mouth movements or sucking movements with their mouth or licking their lips or sticking their tongue out or maybe start drooling or sucking their fingers. Now, if a mother didn't respond to these early feeding cues, her baby is likely going to start crying, which is a late sign of hunger. When a baby starts crying, then they may be quite stressed and it might be difficult to breastfeed. So, these crying babies, once they are on the breast, they might not feed well. They literally have a headache from crying. And then when they didn't feed well, you need to be aware that they might need to feed again sooner. Also, breastfeeding, although it's a relationship, it is like learning a new skill for mothers. And if you have a crying baby, that is going to increase the stress in the process. So rather recognize baby's early feeding cues, like baby waking up and etc. And then pick baby up and offer the breast. If baby is not already on top of you in skin to skin contact. Now, once seen as hunger cues, these behaviors are actually functional behaviors that are part of a competent baby's feeding sequence, which is amazing. Okay, now what are the advantages of responsive or baby-led feeding? Well, it helps the mother's milk change from colostrum to mature milk sooner. And then the baby obviously takes larger volumes of milk sooner, and the baby gains weight more quickly, and the baby has a lower maximal weight loss. And there's also less neonatal jaundice. And also, a mother who feeds their baby responsively have fewer difficulties like engorgement, and breastfeeding is also more easily established. So, babies who are allowed to control the frequency and the duration of a feed learn to recognize their own signs of hunger and satiety. So, this ability to self regulate might be related to the lower rates of obesity in children who are breastfed. Now, a baby becomes socialized through breastfeeding and contact with their mother, and this is frequent breastfeeding. And really, babies cannot be spoiled by being breastfed on cue. Just responding attentively to a baby's needs builds the baby's trust in their mother and forms the basis for the ability to love. Suckling also provides the baby with comfort and a release from tension. So a baby didn't read any books written about baby care. They only know how they feel. And mothers all over the world breastfeed their babies successfully without a clock or schedules or routines. Now, babies who are fed responsively also cry less and there's less temptation to supplement. So, talking about supplements, what do you think? Will a bottle of artificial baby milk hurt breastfeeding? So when babies receive any unnecessary supplements, it leads to a decreased frequency of effectiveness of sucking. It leads to a decreased amount of milk removed from the breast, and that could lead to a delay milk production and reduced milk production. So supplements should only be given if there is a documented acceptable medical reason or the mother has made a fully informed decision. And you can use a teaspoon or a cup or finger feeding or other methods to top the baby up. It doesn't need to be a bottle. And also use your 7 informed consent questions that we've discussed in a previous recording in the decision making process of supplementation. Often expressing colostrum in the early days or mature milk later is a much better option. Well, thank you for watching this recording. In the next recording, we'll look at the first few days, what to expect. Please visit the Breastfeeding Clinic at www.breastfeedingsa.co.za if you would like to book a private consultation and receive the class notes. And you can also navigate the class recordings easier from the website. And feel free to subscribe to this channel for more breastfeeding class recordings. Take care, till next time.